You think humanoid robots are impressive until one reacts to your feelings in real time. And when Yefei Shen 2.0 carries the elegance of classical culture while talking like a hotel concierge who never gets tired, or Xiaolan connects with you like a real friend, analyzing your emotional state with shocking accuracy, or Ameca demonstrates micro expressions so perfect even experts forget she's a machine, you realize we've crossed into territory where the line between biological and artificial becomes genuinely blurred.
What makes this technological moment genuinely extraordinary is how these aren't just mechanical demonstrations, but AI robots that look and behave and react so human-like that even standing near them can glitch your brain for a moment. Why Ameca, built by Engineered Arts in the UK, isn't just a robot, but a presence, where when she looks at you, she isn't staring blankly, but analyzing your micro-expressions in real time, noticing your facial tension and your eyebrows and your smile size and your tone, with her face responding dynamically. How Ameca has dozens of tiny actuators in her face, each capable of independent movement, creating micro-expressions like quick gaze shifts and subtle smirks, and tiny breath-like jaw movements that are unsettling because you're watching a machine do things your brain associates only with biological life. And the reason Engineered Arts gave Ameca gray skin and no defined gender is intentional, because they understand the uncanny valley, where if a robot looks too real, people freak out, but if it looks too mechanical, people detach. So Ameca sits in the perfect sweet spot, not trying to be human but still behaving like one. Once you understand why Yefei Shen 2.0, created by X robots, features silicone skin that mimics the density and elasticity of real human tissue, where when light hits, it reacts correctly, and when she smiles, the micro wrinkles form naturally, and when she blinks, the eyelids glide with lifelike friction. How Shen 2.0 actually breathes with subtle torso and clavicle shifts that simulate breathing patterns where most people don't even consciously notice it, but your subconscious mind does, and that's what sells the illusion. And what it means that Una, built by Ubtech Robotics in Shenzhen, is designed for human interaction in hotels and airports and museums and customer support desks, where she doesn't sound robotic or scripted, but responds like someone who understands your vibe, mirroring your energy if you speak loudly and enthusiastically, or softening her tone if you're quiet or stressed. You'll realize Xiaolan from Tech replicates human eye microsaccades, which are tiny jumps that happen subconsciously. So when she looks at you, your brain instantly labels her as alive, while she's already being deployed in elder care homes across China, sitting with lonely seniors and reading stories and listening to their experiences, helping them feel less isolated, which means we're building machines that can emotionally comfort humans in ways that would have sounded insane just 10 years ago. Something genuinely extraordinary is happening in robotics right now that goes far beyond mechanical engineering or technical specifications, and what we're witnessing represents a fundamental shift in how machines interact with humans. You think humanoid robots are impressive until one reacts to your feelings in real time with such precision that your brain momentarily forgets you're interacting with silicon and circuits rather than flesh and blood. When Yefei Shen 2.0 carries the elegance of classical culture while talking like a hotel concierge who never gets tired, or Xiaolan connects with you like a real friend who genuinely understands emotional nuance, or Ameca demonstrates micro-expressions so perfect that even robotics experts forget she's a machine, you realize we've crossed into territory where the line between biological and artificial becomes genuinely blurred in unsettling ways. So today, we're examining the 10 most realistic humanoid robots of 2025. These are AI robots that look, behave, and react so human-like that even standing near them can glitch your brain for a moment. The uncanny valley has been bridged in ways that seemed impossible just 5 years ago. Let's start with the robot that has dominated headlines, freaked out half of social media, and impressed every single robotics engineer who has seen it up close. Ameca, built by Engineered Arts in the UK. Ameca is not just a robot in the traditional sense. Ameca is a presence that changes the atmosphere when she enters a room. When she looks at you, she isn't staring blankly into space. She's analyzing your micro-expressions in real time with remarkable precision. She notices your facial tension, the position of your eyebrows, your smile size, your vocal tone, and then her face responds dynamically to what she perceives. Her eyebrow transitions alone are more expressive than most humans you encounter on Monday mornings. Engineered Arts uses a proprietary system called Tritium OS, which basically acts like an emotional operating system. Ameca's conversations aren't scripted responses from a database. They're generated on the fly based on conversational context. She doesn't just hear your words mechanically, she interprets your intent behind them. And here's what most people don't know about the technical sophistication involved. Ameca has dozens of tiny actuators embedded in her face, each capable of completely independent movement. These create micro-expressions, the small involuntary reactions humans make subconsciously: a quick gaze shift, a subtle smirk, a tiny breath-like jaw movement. It's genuinely unsettling because you're watching a machine do things your brain associates exclusively with biological life. The reason Ameca has gray skin and no defined gender is completely intentional. Engineered Arts understands the uncanny valley phenomenon deeply. If a robot looks too real, people experience visceral discomfort and freak out. If it looks too mechanical, people emotionally detach and treat it like a vending machine. So Ameca sits in the perfect sweet spot, not trying to be human, but still behaving like one. Now let's fly to China, where things get even more interesting from a cultural perspective. Yefei Shen 2.0, created by X Robots, also known as X-Doll, is like stepping into an alternate timeline where androids have existed for centuries. While Ameca leans futuristic, Shen feels like a living piece of classical art brought to mechanical life. Her appearance is intentionally inspired by traditional Chinese aesthetics: soft facial structure, feminized shapes, smooth posture. But it's the skin that takes the realism to another level entirely. Shen's silicone skin mimics the density and elasticity of real human tissue. When light hits it, it reacts correctly with subsurface scattering. When she smiles, the micro wrinkles form naturally. When she blinks, the eyelids glide with lifelike friction. But it gets even crazier from a technical standpoint. Shen 2.0 actually breathes, not with literal lungs, of course, but with subtle torso and clavicle shifts that simulate natural breathing patterns. Most people don't even consciously notice this detail, but your subconscious mind absolutely does, and that's what sells the illusion of life. She also understands culturally rich topics like poetry, ancient literature, traditional dances, and historical figures. She can discuss them with emotional inflection rather than robotic recitation. Museums in China have started using her as a cultural guide because she doesn't just repeat memorized facts. She presents them with emotional nuance and contextual understanding. Let's shift from cultural androids to social androids designed for practical service. Una, built by UbTech Robotics in Shenzhen, is designed for one specific purpose: human interaction in service environments. Not entertainment, not research demonstrations. Actual service in hotels, airports, museums, and customer support desks. You'll start seeing Una everywhere very soon. What makes Una stand out is the fluidity of her conversations. She doesn't sound robotic or obviously scripted. She responds like someone who understands your vibe and emotional state. If you speak loudly and enthusiastically, she mirrors your energy. If you're quiet or stressed, she softens her tone appropriately. Her conversational power comes from massive AI models integrated into her system. She can discuss news, weather, travel, directions, food, school subjects, and switch languages instantly without hesitation. She could literally be your hotel concierge in the morning, your museum guide in the afternoon, and your translation assistant at night. And here's the part that will change service jobs worldwide. Una remembers your preferences. You check in once, and she never forgets you. Hotels love that capability. Humans have mixed feelings about it. If there is one robot on this entire list that could genuinely make you feel like you're talking to a real person, it's Xiaolan from Nodes.inc, because her eyes are on another level of realism. Human eyes don't stay perfectly still. They perform microsaccades, tiny involuntary jumps that happen subconsciously. Xiaolan replicates those movements exactly, so when she looks at you, your brain instantly labels her as alive. She also reads your emotional state with shocking accuracy. Smile and she softens her expression. Look sad and her demeanor changes. Raise your voice and she adapts her response. And yes, she's already being deployed in elder care homes across China, sitting with lonely seniors, reading stories, listening to their experiences, and helping them feel less isolated. We're building machines that can emotionally comfort humans. That sentence would have sounded like science fiction insanity 10 years ago. Now it's happening in nursing homes. We can't discuss realistic robots without acknowledging the one who started the global android conversation, Sophia, by Hanson Robotics. Sophia isn't the most realistic robot in 2025 visually, but she's by far the most famous. She's been interviewed by presidents, comedians, scientists, and actors, and she's had more global media appearances than many human influencers. Her new upgrades make her better than ever. Sophia now has improved emotional recognition, smoother facial transitions, and deeper conversational abilities. She's better at humor, better at understanding context, and better at detecting sarcasm. Sophia's true power isn't her face, it's her experience. She's had millions of real world conversations, and that data has been used to refine her personality and intelligence. Most realistic robots are built to impress the public, attract investors, or demonstrate cutting edge engineering. Annie, made by Anybot Robotics, is different. Annie is built with a mission to support people who need help. Elderly individuals living alone, people with disabilities, people with social or cognitive challenges. Annie acts like a patient, empathetic assistant, the kind who never gets tired, irritated, or rushed. She helps with medication reminders, simple daily tasks, video call setup, schedule organization, emotional comfort, and even light conversation for people struggling with loneliness or anxiety. If there's one robot on this list that will make you say, okay, now that's getting real, it's Moxon from Ameca Robotics. Because Moxon isn't just expressive, she moves naturally. Most hyper-real androids have limited mobility. They stand still, move their arms slowly, or sit behind desks. Moxon breaks that barrier completely. She walks naturally. She gestures while talking. She dances. She turns her head while moving without losing facial realism. Her body coordination is so smooth that in exhibitions, Moxon has been used as an event host, greeting crowds, guiding people, and interacting with visitors as if she were a human presenter. Not every realistic robot looks human. Some look mechanical, but behave so naturally that the effect is equally powerful. Ada, created by Aidan Meller, is one such robot. Ada has a partially transparent design. You can see inner mechanics. You can see synthetic muscles moving. You can watch actuators firing. Yet the robot's mannerisms are artistic, expressive, and strangely emotional. Ada paints in real time, not preset patterns, but generative artwork influenced by art history, human artist observations, and environmental stimuli. Watching Ida paint feels like watching a new form of consciousness explore creativity. Most realistic robots are built to be faces, presenters, hosts, and guides. But XBot is built for work, real industrial work. Factories around the world were built for human hands, human reach, human grip, and human walking paths. Rebuilding entire manufacturing floors for robotics is insanely expensive. So instead, XBot fits into the existing human environment. Finally, we reach the most unsettling robot on this list. Not because it's dangerous, but because it's so realistic, despite being only a head. The Origin M1 from XDoll is a compact humanoid head with deeply expressive eyes, smooth eyelid motion, micro jaw movements, emotional expressions, neck tilts and nods, perfect conversational timing. And the craziest part? It's meant to sit on a desk. Origin M1 brings all the realism of a full Android into a smaller, cheaper, more practical form factor.
So here's the real takeaway. Humanoid robots are no longer trying to look human. They're starting to behave human. Emotion recognition, micro expressions, natural movement, cultural conversation, empathy simulation, real time adaptation. Robots are no longer just metal machines performing mechanical tasks. They're becoming emotional interfaces, bridges between humans and artificial intelligence. That's it for today, folks. See you in the next video.